Hello and welcome to the Random Pinoy Geek Podcast, the show where we geek out to 3 random topics until the timer runs out. I'm your random host, Elvin, and with me are
JR
and Freddie.
We're friends and geeks who grew up in the Philippines, and in each episode we hang out and talk about things that are near and dear to all our little geeky hearts. Before we start, if you'd like to support the show and our content creator ready to take the next step in your journey, check out episodify.com. They'll help produce and edit any content you're creating, whether it's audio or video, short form or long form. They'll do it all. That's episodify.com. You might notice that we're missing one of our geeky friends today, Sushi. So
we're missing estrogen.
So I didn't want to bring that up because we also have estrogen.
Oh, we do?
You. We do.
It's to a minimal amount.
We have a minimal amount of estrogen.
I'm saying I didn't say we don't have estrogen. I'm saying we're missing some.
I guess we're missing a significant amount of estrogen. That is true. So in order to combat that, we add a lot of testosterone in the form of our guest, Freddie. Hey,
hello.
Freddie. Freddie is the founder of Neutral Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know Neutral Grounds, what are you doing here?
You're not part. So for our foreign listeners,
sorry.
Neutral Grounds is a establishment in the Philippines. It's like
basically the LGS.
Yes,
right?
the LGS, your local gaming store. That's it. He's also the president of Ludus Distributors, and he's
which is board games.
We distribute tabletop games, miniatures, card games, board games to the Philippines.
Yep. And
if you're broke right now,
it's because of it. And it's a unfortunate reality that we're gladly enjoy. Besides our new guests, we also want to encourage all of our listeners to join our Discord and also check out our shorts on YouTube. Soon we will also have videos there of our
there
episodes.
might be videos up there. Anyway.
It depends on when you're listening to this. But yeah, we're on to our episode. For this episode, I wanted to talk about the history of geekery in the Philippines. What is your earliest geeky memory as a kid? For me, I think I told this on the podcast before, but I got an Atari game. I didn't understand what it was. It wasn't a toy. It wasn't something that I can play with. So I was so angry. I buried it in my grandparents' garden in spite. And then the next day, I woke up and my dad already set up like the Atari, the old wooden Atari, the one that had the controller.
Oh, it's the game that you buried.
I buried the game. I didn't know what it was. They gave me the game. You can open one gift and you open this. What is this? This isn't candy. This has no moving parts. What is this? I never remembered what that game was, but that was my earliest memory of like a geeky thing.
It's not even a geeky thing. Like, it's just a spoiled brat thing.
It's a spoiled brat thing.
I think during that time, a lot of people have their Atari memories. Even for me, that was the first family console.
Yeah.
I don't think it was even called the console then. I don't know what
it was. Just called an Atari.
Atari home system or something like that. Because there was no other brand or product that was on that category, I think.
In the Philippines.
Yeah, in the Philippines at least.
Oh, was there in the States?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Sega.
ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Those were earlier than the Atari?
Yeah, I remember there's like the older ones that had like weird controllers.
Yeah. Atari is kind of like the Betamax.
Because they like improved already to that point where it's like, okay, we can mass produce this. Because I think ColecoVision had a wheel for your controller.
But
the Atari has that controller as well.
It's a paddle.
Yeah, but it's
because the Atari has the joystick
and the paddle.
And that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
was there? There's a joystick and multiple button. Yeah, but
the joystick has one button.
Has one button. Oh, yeah. That was a weapon. That was a heavy thing. I remember. I think that had metal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just heavy because you were a child.
That is true.
But it's probably not that heavy now.
Yeah, but I think, especially for the Philippines, like the status of the Atari is like it was the only thing you could get here. It's kind of like when we only had Betamax, and nobody knew what a VHS was.
Oh, did you not have VHS here?
In the Philippines, but much later.
But much later, yeah.
Because the Betamax was so dominant. Sony Betamax was so dominant that nobody even knew what a VHS was. And the same Atari enjoyed the same status.
Yeah, the thing with Betamax as well is like I remember being really frustrated because all of the anime was in VHS,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a VHS, so I only have like very few. Like I had Betamaxes of Chinese or Cantonese dubbed anime that I had to watch, and I couldn't understand Chinese
So
or
we had
Cantonese.
we had Cantonese Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Remember
you get
that?
For the benefit of our younger audiences, maybe we have to explain what a Betamax or a VHS
I think we
is.
talk about enough Betamax on the
you-
show that
yeah.
we would know.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's still so.
But do you know why Betamax died?
Well, why did Betamax die?
It's the same reason why. What's the thing that was against DVD died?
Oh, DVR. The porn industry did not adapt
The
Betamax.
porn industry chose
Mm.
VHS.
Yeah. That's
Which is that's why Betamax died. That's why the thing that went up against DVD died.
DVR.
That's why HD DVD died and Blu-ray succeeded. It's whatever
The porn
porn
industry adapts.
chooses.
Yes, but has been
it's a
true.
fact.
Whatever the porn industry adapts, it's
It's
not
the-
necessarily.
It's the medium that survives.
It is the medium that survives. I guess I can also think about earlier memories, but it wasn't like as clear as that. Like I can remember that they said that they read The Hobbit to me when I was a kid, but I don't remember that. How about you guys? Like, what's your
I think
earliest?
it's gonna be because mine's probably also the Atari. Because even before, like I just don't remember anything before.
Okay, that's-
Period.
that might be a problem.
No,
That is-
I mean I'm like a couple of years younger than you, so
Yeah.
I don't know. No,
That's-
I remember like watching TV and stuff.
yeah. What was the TV thing?
No, but remember we had what were the shows back then? Eat Bulaga was already out,
Yeah, of course.
and then
The
I think
Atari.
Betamax was a thing.
Yeah, Betamax. But Betamax, I didn't rent anime or like geeky stuff for Betamax.
I
It
remember
was-
blowing up our Betamax
Yeah.
because my uncle had a generator which wasn't strong enough,
Mhm.
Oh,
but it was like no, sorry, it's a really strong one that it can power multiple houses.
also it overcharged.
So it went from their house to relatives,
Yeah.
our house at the end. And there's like, okay, so when we turn on the generator, don't turn on your TV
Mhm.
or just the lights and your
Yeah.
fan. And we turned on the Betamax because I was super bored. I wanted to watch Thumbelina
Thumbelina.
because that was the one we rented.
Yeah.
And then it exploded, but it kept playing. But there were like white,
lines.
like not lines. It looked like notes that were going up and down.
but like a waveform or something.
No, they looked like notes, but they were.
Notes.
I mean, they're like not exactly notes, but they to my how many year old eyes they look like notes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How about you, Freddie? What's your experience in that? Like, what's your earliest?
Actually, there's a lot. Like I would make my own rules for board games,
oh, wow.
but if it's about frustrating stuff, which at that time it wasn't frustrating, it was something I was enjoying.
Yeah.
I had these American comics, which at that time was very rare. I think it was the time still was no field bars.
Yeah.
At that time, and then I had some American comics, DC, Marvel,
Mhm.
and I was a kid and I didn't know that these things would eventually become valuable. So what I did was I cut them up,
Yeah.
and then
Of course.
pasted them on my cabinet,
Yeah.
and then turned them into stickers. And then now I realize, oh my god, those were like, oh, these are Neil Adams issues of Batman and like
Yeah.
super old Conan comics.
That's actually, if you remember, that's like a sign of like an old, wealthy family's house. If you look
If
at
you
the
have
kids'
American
room,
comics,
no. If you look at the closets, and then it's like these off-white or cream
and then
colors,
there's a
and there's
silhouette.
like stickers on it.
Yeah,
You have this really strange, in a way, elegant Spanish style closet, and then there's like a Rainbow Bright sticker there or a Care Bear sticker there.
the Care Bear sticker. There were a lot of Care Bears
Yes.
and Rainbow Bright
Mhm.
stickers. I also did that. Do you know it's the Lethal Attraction set, the one where Wolverine lost
loses his
with
adamantium.
Magneto,
Mhm.
Of course.
and it had a hologram of Wolverine in front.
Oh yeah.
You cut
I
it up.
had that set, and I cut up all of those and put them in my NBA card binder.
Oh yeah. it's like in the past they'd like just get those things because they're like, okay, they're mine now,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna make them look my stuff cool. It kind of like harkens to what's done in the US. Like
No, but the weird thing about that is I know that collectibles gain value by that time because I already had NBA cards.
oh, okay, that's
so that's
you-
like, why did I do
that is bad. You already knew that has value, and then
Yeah,
you still
so,
did it.
No, I didn't know that the comics had value, but I know that
Collectibles
stuff,
had value.
collectibles
Yeah.
had value. So
Just not the comics. You know how like people would put baseball cards on the spokes of their bicycles to
Mhm.
make it
To
sound
make it
cool,
sound.
Yeah.
right?
no, but you can do that with the text.
Exactly, the text and stuff. It's the same thing. You're trying to make your environment cooler using these memorabilia, and that's kind of charming as well. Because if you think about it, that's no longer done. Everything is like in packages. Everything is like in. You need to remember this, but in the past, it was
Yeah.
you're getting it, and then you're gonna
Yeah,
put it.
like now, people buy toys and it never gets taken out of the package.
Never played with.
Never played with.
I mean,
Back
even
then.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, maybe not kids.
not all
but
kids. I guess.
I think the toy industry now is mainly targeted at
Not
adult
really for
collectors.
Yeah,
Actually, I
Not
remember
really
one.
kids anymore.
I don't remember if it's Christmas or like a 7th birthday of my nephew where there were actually toys. Like someone gave toys, but they were like, the China
Mhm.
Spider-Man,
Mhm.
Spooderman, I don't know,
Yeah,
something
types
like
of
that.
things.
And they,
Yes, the
they
green
don't they don't
Spider-Man.
even open it.
The Spider-Man that has the DC logo in
Yeah,
it.
something like that.
Or Spider-Man with the
Or
super. With
this
the
wasn't
Batman
this,
logo.
this wasn't that bad. Like this actually said Spider-Man, but you could
Mhm.
clearly see that it's a bootleg,
Uh,
and they don't even open it. It's just there.
The bootleg ones are it's interesting because they're like weird things that you can get from the bootleg ones as well.
Like if Spider-Man has a car or something.
Yeah, spider car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or spider robot. But the robot ones are interesting because you get all sorts of weird stuff when you get robots.
the thing is with the robots right now, even if it's not like branded Transformers, there's really high quality
Oh, the
third-party
right?
third-party Transformers in quotes that are out there. They don't necessarily use the Transformers brand, but these guys make quality stuff and they're not cheap. They're just not Transformers branded.
So they just transform.
They just transform
From what?
robot to vehicle or something. Yeah,
Oh,
and they're high quality stuff and they're still pretty expensive. Some of them can be arguably more of a higher quality than some of the stuff Hasbro comes
Hasbro
out with.
creates. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They
'cause
also have that with Gunpla. Remember what's the one with the starts with a K, Kashit or Rhea?
I'm
Mhm.
not
The
good
really
with
big
Gunpla.
green one that doesn't have an official kit.
Okay.
But what you do is like you buy like a strike, like one of the cheap Gunplas. You get the skeleton,
Mhm.
and then you get a kit. It used to be 20,000, and you just put it on that, and you get
Oh.
the Kashteria.
I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not really that big.
But like that thing is like not even licensed Bandai, but like it's better than whatever they have. So yeah, those things exist now.
Transformation, by their very nature, you have to play with it.
Mhm.
It's not a stationary. It's
Yep.
not. It's not something that's just there. That toy that you've seen online, where you command
Mhm. Yeah.
the robot to transform, that's like it's really cool. But at the same time, we were kids. I don't know. I borrowed a friend's Grimlock. I think that's that's a status symbol of children.
If you have Grimlock.
If you have a Grimlock, you are the king of that neighborhood. Like if you have a no, right. If you have
Oh,
a
when they just
Dinobot,
came out. The first time the Dinobots came
when
out. Yeah.
if you have a Dinobot, it depends. If you have the Stegosaurus, you are the least of the best, right? If you have Grimlock, you are the high level
I
champ.
forgot. Do the Dinobots merge?
No,
No.
they do not.
No, they don't.
They
Ever?
never did. There was a rumor and a whispers in the
I know that I heard that somewhere.
Yes, but no, they do not.
But
They do not.
I had
transform.
the planes that merge.
the
not for
Aerobots.
Aerobots, yeah.
Aerobots,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know if it's
Transform
bootleg. It's
into
probably bootleg, but
Supremor, I think. I remember the episode where they were created by Alpha Trion in Cybertron because they never
did planes.
Yeah.
well, yes, they needed planes, but because the Autobots needed a way to fight the Stunticons. If you remember the Stunticons, no, because
What
okay.
are
So
those?
there was
I
an
don't remember
episode
that.
where it was a cold open for
No, not
Transformer
the
episode.
Constructicons.
Not the Constructicons, the Stunticons. It was a cold open episode. They were all cars, but they were Decepticons. So
Yeah, finish the.
yeah. So in order to fight them, the Autobots created flying Autobots. Because the thing before was that,
All of the flying ones were Decepticons.
yes, Decepticons fly, Autobots,
Autobots don't. They just roll out.
They roll out, exactly. We can have a further discussion about that in the future, but you'll learn more about Stunticons and other Transformers. All of the Transformer lore I know is from a specific booklet of the toys. I don't know the toys, I don't have the toys, but it's the booklet. When you have the booklet, you have power.
You know what else you can learn about?
Yeah, you can also learn about another type of thing that you can play. I think this is something more for not kids, but big kids. And that's Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings. It's an exhilarating mass battle war game that offers a perfect blend of accessibility to newcomers and intricate strategies options for seasoned veterans. Say goodbye to traditional player turns and predictable army deployment because Conquest introduces a refreshing command stack mechanic. As a commander, you'll have the power to determine the activation order of your troops at the beginning of each round, injecting a thrilling layer of tactical decision-making into every engagement. But that's not all. Conquest employs an innovative escalation reinforcement mechanic where the roles of light, medium, and heavy troops come into play. This ingenious system creates a realistic fog of war, ensuring that each unit's capabilities and strengths matter in the ever-shifting tides of battle. So that's our sponsor, Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings.
It's a minis war game.
That's a minis war game.
Right way to
That's really cool. It's like the fog of war mechanic.
Wait, how does that work?
The board starts out empty, actually. So
Also, you write where your stuff is.
so you have a stack of cards that represent your units, and then you have to stack it before a round starts, and then you reveal it one at a time with alternating with your opponent. So you only bring in one unit at a time.
But you declare where the unit goes because of the.
Yes. So it depends on how the board's situation is. Then you decide where that unit comes in. Once it's in, then you have to decide when it activates.
So it's like the setup phase of Mage Knight back in the day. Where,
Not
you alternate.
Yes, actually, that's the main thing with Conquest. It's that you alternate activations. You don't have my turn and then I move all of my guys. And then you have your turn, you move all of your guys, which causes some problems because when I move all my guys, I get to shoot and then I wipe out a third of your army.
Yeah.
And which you just deployed and they're already dead.
Makes sense. All right.
So
Interesting game.
So for your next topic, Freddie.
Okay.
Your geeky
It's
topic.
Freddie's first time here, guys. So
Okay, so I'm a bit shocked. Okay, let's talk about the stores we used to frequent a long time ago. The Geeky stores.
This is not the
maybe
geeky store,
the
but
stores that
I wanted
predated
to.
Neutral Grounds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, but this is not a geeky store, but a lot of people don't know Magnolia anymore.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a Robinson's
Yeah.
Magnolia,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it was Magnolia because there was a Magnolia there.
A magnolia plant initially.
They have a ice cream store.
Before that, it's just magnolia plant, right? And then the store, it was that store, right, where they started to serve burgers.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love how we were going to geeky stores.
Oh, we're
and then
getting
it's food.
Turning into food.
well,
Yeah.
geeks need fuel.
Yeah.
But let me get. I'm cooking. Let me get to that point. So they had the magnolia thing, right? And they had the ice cream. And then after the ice cream, there's hey, they're so sweet. We want something salty too, because we're Filipinos, we're gluttons. So we have French fries, but we want more. How about burgers? I can make burgers and then chicken. Sure, make chicken. And then the burgers and chicken are really, really good. So hey, let's make another store next to it. What do we call it? Well, we have Magnolia. We don't want to call it Magnolia's Best. It's fun. It's a place where kids are, so everybody's happy. Let's call it. Let's also have a mascot. Okay, let's call it maybe Jollibee. Yeah, that's a nice place, Jollibee. And so they created the first Jollibee was out.
Wait, is this a real story? I don't think so. This is not true.
I thought that no, that's
This is not true.
That's not true. Because I think the first Jollibee is not
In
located
Quiapo.
No,
there.
it's
Yeah,
not.
it
It's
was-
not. It's not. But
It's in Quiapo and they sold ice cream.
Yes.
But that's kind of like the type of urban legends that when you're in the 80s, you'd wait, I have no internet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that leads me to the geeky thing that I had. There's a place called Broadway Centrum, which is an
Yeah.
old place.
It's still called Broadway
It's called
Centrum.
Broadway Centrum, but
Oh, when you take a jeep now, you say Broadway. So I don't think it's called Broadway Centrum anymore. But the general area now is called Broadway, and the street there is now called Broadway.
yeah. So that was a geeky place for me because my dad used to work there. In the bowels of Broadway Centrum were stores,
Mhm.
and some of them you could rent a computer to play games. And this was like late 80s, early 90s. So the computer games that have were really, really basic, but they had a full color, that's important, full color
Monitor.
game of Captain America. There's
I
like
know
Captain
this game.
America.
This was a Famicom game.
But no, it was
that had an arcade version,
where you press shift and forward to throw the shield.
Hmm.
I remember that. And I was like, before I was like going down, it's like, oh, wait, that's a video game. That's Captain America. Oh, but it costs 20 whole pesos to play. I don't have 20
Oh,
pesos.
wait, 20?
Yes, 20 pesos.
Why?
To play.
Why is
To
it
rent
that
30 minutes.
expensive?
A long time ago, it
A long
was
time
expensive.
expensive.
No, but that was a lot for back then, 20 pesos.
Yeah, it did. It was. As a child, I
Yeah.
couldn't. It's eat food or play games.
That's why I'm
At the time,
surprised that
I
it's
was still
20.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and it wasn't an hour. It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's why. It's such,
But that was a geeky place, and like all geeky places, it had video games. It had a food court, and most importantly, it had a ghost. So there's a person in Broadway Centrum that they said would knock on the doors or windows of cars. And then if you slept in your car, they'd knock on your window. And then if you look, they would bring out a decapitated head. I don't know where that story came from.
Yeah.
from the same person that told you
Yeah,
about
the
the
Jollibee.
Jollibee story.
Jollibee story, yeah.
Yeah, they used to film a lot of TV shows at Broadway. I think.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yes.
whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why your dad
Yes,
worked
that's
there?
my dad. Yes, that's where it
Because
Bulaga
that's where
used to
you're.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I also have a lot of good memories with the Magnolia store
Hmm.
because that really was a destination place.
Yeah.
And there, we also had field trips to the Magnolia factory.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I remember that. as a
What's
kid.
the one in Green Hills? That's also food? No, the one that's like legendary. The one that has
My
chicken.
favorite is Choo Choo Junction when I
No,
was a
not
kid.
that. Not
Do you remember Choo Choo Junction?
Yeah, I remember Choo Choo Junction,
Choo Choo
but I
Junction.
never really got to go there.
Oh,
a lot.
really? It's a
Mhm.
restaurant that was a train
Hmm.
in the parking lot of Green Hills, and they had a dish called chicken bullet, which was a white sauce chicken cheese spaghetti. Kamameshi, I guess, is another famous
No,
restaurant.
it's like a
Yeah, it's still there.
It-
still
it-
there.
It is. Oh yeah.
It's still alive.
forgot the thing. It's like a Sunday morning dinery feel. They have good chicken.
Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer's.
I actually don't remember at all, but I'd remember it if someone mentioned it. Anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, those things.
Sizzler.
No,
That's it. Cindy's.
Mhm.
Cindy's is
The place
Oh.
to be. Yes, I know.
no. Did you know like around 2009, Cindy's was gone here.
Yeah.
but they still had it because that was the time I was in Bacolod. They
Okay.
still had Cindy's
In
there,
Bacolod? Oh,
Mm.
that's nice.
so it's just
Yeah.
I
interesting.
just remember the Cindy's
I guess because
commercial.
it's chicken, so
Yeah.
and it's Bacolod. I don't know.
Yes, it still lived.
Yeah.
What about you?
When I was a kid, I used to go to Green Hills, and that would be like such a big deal for me because when I went to Green Hills, I got to go to Nova Fontana and Phil Bars. So
Yes.
Phil Bars is where I get my comics,
Yes.
and then Nova Fontana is where I will get my RPG stuff and occasionally toys.
Toys.
But the funny thing with Nova Fontana was, if you're trying to collect the RPG books, you cannot complete any collection with Nova Fontana because their selection was spotty at best. I just realized much later on when I was already in business that the reason for that was they were not actually sourcing their RPG books directly from the publisher.
Yeah.
They were getting their stuff from a clearance place.
Okay.
So they just got
So
from,
the clearance.
what's the book sale?
Book sale. Yeah.
yeah. So something like that. They got their books from a clearance place. So you'd be lucky to have like a complete set of the Dungeons and Dragons books back then. It was like basic, expert.
Yeah.
So to complete my collection, I had to look elsewhere for it. During that time, there was no internet So
of
no
course.
online shopping. So it was really hard.
The thing with Nova Fontana I remember a lot is like a lot of it's a place where all siblings, both male and female,
Mhm.
can go because
They also had Barbie.
yeah, just because they had
Barbie.
Barbie, they had My Little Pony.
Mhm.
It was
Which
My
is
Little
not
Pony.
exclusively for female.
Not exclusively, but my sister loved My Little Pony. The old My Little Pony, the fat.
You love My Little Pony.
Yeah, but the show. But I'm talking about the toy, the old My Little Pony toy that I don't know what it is, but apparently it has a scent that little girls loved before because she would like sniff it. It's like it has a strange smell. There's like bubble gum thing.
Like the same thing with Sylvanian families, right? It also has this
Mhm.
weird
Sylvanian.
Yeah, it's a
Right, that's
it's
the
also a
fur-
collectible
the
toy.
furries.
Oh, okay.
That's an more adult collector.
Version, yeah.
The thing
they're really expensive.
The thing I remember about Phil Bars back then was Philemon Barbasa was really there.
Like every day.
Uh,
No, I mean like
most of the time. Because
yeah.
even at that time, they had several branches. So
but he was a
ev-
Green
yeah,
Hills guy.
he you can see him at the Green Hill store, and then, but I think even then their branch was in Cubao.
Mm.
But now Philemon is no longer a fixture at Phil Bars, so that's a little bit sad.
And Phil Bars now, I still go to Phil Bars a lot, but because of Funko Pops,
Hmm.
like they don't
They have
have
collectors.
they don't have they have comics.
Yeah, the business model has shifted a lot. Actually, it's shifted several times.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Phil Bars, I always think of that slushy dog.
What?
The
It's
slushy
a cross.
because it's a cross.
Yeah.
And so,
Green Hills.
yes, because there's this alley of there's two opposing elevators,
Mhm.
elevators,
Escalators.
two opposing escalators going up.
They're
And-
under the escalator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One side is Phil Bars, the other side is the slushy food thing, and they have the slushy dog, which you can get like either red or blue flavor. I don't know what the flavors are, but it's red and blue, and you can also have a taco.
This-
Yeah.
This is super unrelated, but I suddenly miss Smokies. The
Oh
wraparound.
yes, that's true. Or Bun in the Run, actually. Bun on the Run.
I just
Bun on
get
the Run's
wraparound
chorizo.
all the time.
Yes, Smokies was a big
Smokies
thing
was
before.
There's no more Smokies at all.
No,
Oh,
I haven't seen them at least.
nope, I don't think so. I think Smokies even had like
chili
at that
dogs.
time professional basketball players endorsing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's
they were that
the
big.
tender, juicy hot dogs,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that? Oh wait, no, that might
Pure
be
Foods.
Pure
I'm not
Foods.
sure.
I think
They might be connected.
They might be
Somehow.
connected. And
because
or
before that was a time where it's Smokies and A&W that was always
Oh,
in
A&W was great.
on TV.
Orange Julius. If you went to Green Hills, you knew the Orange Julius because that's where your parents dropped you when they went grocery shopping. They put you
At
in that
Unimart.
in Unimart. It's the one. It's immediately in the front. They just put you there as a child. It's either there or the what's that? It's the cafe.
Oh, how about Lil's? When was Lil's?
This was there when I was a kid. So
Because I know them
it's
in
been there
Quad.
they've been around for
Longer.
longer. Yeah. So I also used to buy model kits from them.
Because before mini 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, before
Oh,
Mini
yeah. Now I
I
remember.
got World War II miniatures and dinosaur miniatures
Mhm.
and painted it up.
Yeah.
Was there also one in Harrison Plaza? Lil's, or was it something else?
Isn't
The one in Harrison Plaza before they tore it down is JMN's Hobby.
Oh yeah.
That's still around. I think they moved to Fisher Mall. That's
They still
owned by Natalie Cao.
I researched them lately because of when I was looking for an air compressor. So,
Mhm.
But there's also another like geeky place in that area that I remember was Comic Quest. So Comic
So what
Quest
happened to Comic Quest?
still there.
They're
In
still
Mega Mall?
around. Yeah, I think they're still in Mega Mall.
Because the SM North one closed.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I know is across Pancake House in Shopsville,
Mm-hmm.
the House of Mini restaurant, and there's an alleyway. To the left is Pancake House, and to the right is Comic Quest. And it's funny because you mentioned Phil Bars. I remember as a kid, it was kind of like church. Nowadays, we call it manifesting. But
Mhm.
before we just go there, I just look at the Ninja Turtles
Mhm.
trade paperback, the compiled Eastman and Laird, where they were fighting space triceratops. Yes, that series of Salvatore is their enemies, like a goat man. that has time powers. I just look at that and it's like, oh, I really want that 900 pesos. It's so expensive.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why was it 900?
It's like a compilation book.
That's still a lot.
It's still a lot, yes. As a child.
Because right now you can get like trade paperback compilations for still 900.
It's still 900 bucks. It's like they haven't really
That's
changed
what I
the
want.
price point. Like they made the things smaller, but it's kind of like the Archie
Well, to be fair, the
inflation.
dollar then was like 25.
Actually, I don't think you can get a trade paperback now
Anymore?
for
900 not
bucks.
anymore.
Oh yeah, that's sad.
Trade paperbacks would be what at least $25 to $30, so they'd be around 1,000 plus.
That's also my first.
That's the
experience.
low. That's the low
That's
end.
the low end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also my first experience as in
I
inflation.
also just remembered that the last time I bought comics was like 10 years ago. So
that I
There's
think
that.
the same. But that's my first experience of inflation actually with comics
Comics.
because the
Mm.
It's
double
pegged to the
digest.
dollar.
Because the double digest
Mhm.
shrank. It was
Mm.
much smaller now.
And
So-
that's shrinkflation then. That's
That's
not.
sorry, shrinkflation. Because double digest before is like this. It looked like a Bible. I remember. Oh, it's Archie. I'm gonna read double digest. Then later on, it's an Archie comic. Then when I saw it, it's like, wait, this is a double digest. This is an ordinary Archie comic in the past.
Mhm.
Now it's the double digest, just this thin.
a good gauge for inflation is magic packs.
Yeah,
Like they used to be how much? 50 before? 100?
120. I remember back in high school.
No,
it's
it started below 100 pesos.
That I remember that because it was 75 pesos to buy Fallen Empires in high school.
Yeah, I think you started.
Where were you buying Fallen Empires? That's a bit pricey. I know I was buying it at 60.
At 60
60.
outside of Savior, there's a place.
There's a guy in
Oh,
Savior.
okay.
with-
Then, because they know the Savior kids are, we can milk these kids
They can gouge them. Yeah,
more.
now how much is a magic pack? 150?
No.
300.
Yeah.
What? This magic is so low.
That's crazy.
Is it 300 now?
It's 300, I think.
Because there's no more regular draft pack.
Yeah, just the
So it's now
all
everything like
collector.
collector.
Yeah, it's
No,
Now
because-
it's called the Play Booster.
And it's 300 now?
$300.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, because even when I was playing Magic, I didn't buy booster packs. I don't even know how much they are.
yeah, because it's just play. You
You
just,
just draft.
draft it. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the topic there, Freddie. Just a lot of stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
How about you, Gerard? What's your
That was
topic?
actually a good segue to my topic, which is like, what polls do you remember from whatever cards,
From Magic the Gathering.
anything, Magic?
The first packs I opened were actually revised packs.
Oh, you
And-
remember the cards?
yeah.
Wow.
And those didn't have.
Black
I
Lotus
did
and
open
Red
packs. I
Taurus.
opened those tournament packs,
Yeah,
which are also random. And then I remember back then that
but it had 3 random rares.
yeah, you didn't know which were rares
Mhm.
and which were commons or
the starter
uncommons.
deck.
Yeah.
Starter deck.
So the weird thing then was when you're opening packs and it's the first time you're seeing the game. Wow, Crowworm 6-4. Wow, this is so big.
Same example.
It's,
And then
it's
you
the
see
same
something
always.
like-
It's always
Oh, Llanowar Elves. It's 1-1. It produces green mana. It does the same thing as land. So why will I want it? And then you see things like Birds of Paradise. This is even dumber.
has no power.
It has no power. It can't attack. 0-1. It can fly, so it can attack, but it has 0 power. So what's the point?
Or my favorite, why would I get a dual land when I can just put 2 lands?
Yes.
That was an argument.
That was the argument.
Yeah.
Why would I spend?
Seriously.
Am I a fool to pay 500 pesos for a dual
Wait,
land?
duels were 500.
500.
Already 500?
Yes, 90s, $500.
Well, that's
Yeah, around that, yeah.
Because I bought my set of Taigas in 2001 for 2,000 pesos. 2,500.
No, that's like, what,
But that's
600
2,000.
something.
Yeah.
For,
So, but that's like a huge jump for. I mean, that's the same as.
The dual lands didn't become crazy until 2009 or something.
yeah, I think at that point, there was still no big speculative market, collectible speculative market. So there was no big jump until the whole MTG finance thing happened.
Yeah.
When that thing happened, that's when people started looking at these things. Hey, these things are investments that you can, actually park your money into. That even spiraled out of control when the crypto bros
Yeah.
after making their money in crypto,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
wanted to invest in something else other than crypto. So
Yeah.
they went into collectibles, and that really affected the collectibles market. Now, all these crypto bros used to want to have all these cool magic cards, cool comic books, and other stuff. Now they have money, and they'll park it in the stuff that they previously couldn't afford.
The Sam, what's his name? The FTX guy, Is-
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Bankman-Fried, is a magic guy.
Ah.
He financed limited resources.
Mhm.
For what?
Yes.
Mm.
The FTX
Just like-
was a sponsor.
Like just a sponsor.
Yes,
just
because
wanted to
he
give away
liked it.
money.
Yeah, FTX sponsored so many things. They have their own arena.
Yeah, but he
Sports
sponsored
arena.
particularly Magic because he played Magic. He plays Magic. He likes Magic. So yeah,
Marshall is making some good bank in repairing
oh,
watches.
I watched that channel. That's
yeah, I mean
nice.
it's getting a lot of views. Relatively
You know
a lot
Marshall.
of views.
Brian David Marshall.
no, the
No,
other
Marshall
Marshall Sutcliffe. He's a commentator for Magic.
Mm.
He has,
The one with LSB and limited resources.
but he also does watch repair. So it's a channel that does watch repair.
It's actually
It's
addicting.
very nice to watch. He has all of the things that you need to repair watches.
Mm.
He has the machine that cleans. He has the little
And each and
magnets.
What's interesting with that time,
Mhm.
there was no indication of what you're pulling is a rare or uncommon
yeah.
or common. So you had no idea of value.
There'd be whispers. They'd
And
say,
then,
But they're actually-
so
I
so
think
if you're
in-
trading with someone,
Mm.
like you could just really get screwed over if you have no idea
but
what you're doing.
I think they're actually the back, right? The 3 back cards.
that's the whispers, because before it was the fourth card.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's not the fourth card. Sometimes it's
No,
front.
they actually know, right? Like if it's like Alpha Investments opening it, they know.
they know which one. Of course, now.
Yeah, once
like now.
you have an idea,
But when
but
we were kids, it was
you
like,
know when
No,
you're
anyway, they know what.
well, I wasn't a kid then, but I still didn't know what I was doing. Like I just opened it and everything like, oh, all these are cards. And when when you have a limited pool, you have no idea of what rare is.
Yeah.
Because in your limited pool, a common could still be, you only have opened one of it. So you really have no idea of rarity. So when you're trading, it could get like, really dicey.
like nobody will let go of the Shivan Dragon.
Yeah.
The Shivan,
But
no,
that was rare.
it was rare, but
To be
nobody
fair.
and nobody wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then you say you have a
The
nice
Sarah is also rare, right?
no,
No, it was
uncommon.
uncommon.
It was uncommon
Mm.
because it's the same level as Shengir Vampire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's the Force of Will, which was uncommon, but
Mm.
was treated as rare even back.
oh yeah.
I think the Sarah Angel became rare. 10th edition
then.
was that the first time they started printing black bordered
yeah, 10th
base sets. 10th
That
ed.
was the first.
Yeah.
I don't
That's the
I
first time Sarah Angel became a rare.
Mm.
But do you remember what your first magic pool was?
What do you mean, like
Uh,
the pack?
Yeah, the pack. Yeah, do you remember?
That's so hard.
I remember pulling a Sarah Angel, and then immediately after pulling it, somebody wanted to trade it for a crow worm.
And
And then the-
Rover.
I didn't know the rarity, but the fact that he was so insistent, had me. Alarm bells were starting to ring in my head. No thanks.
even as a child, I would. Well, a high school student is not necessarily a child, but when I was a high school student, I would say no to that. Sarah Angel is a girl. So
Mhm.
yes, I didn't want to reach that point, but she had great art. At the same time, 4-4
Also,
flyer, 4-4 flyer. That
Yeah.
But I remember my first pool was a Sedge Troll. I remember that specifically because like, what is this? It's a red card that needed swamps,
Mhm.
and you regenerate with black mana. This is such a confused card. How about you, Jay? What was your first pool? Do you remember your
The
first
pull. The thing with me is I never bought booster packs ever. I never gave neutral grounds money.
pool?
No, because I rarely bought booster packs because I always bought singles
yeah, or
and
played
or
draft,
boxes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Booster
or drafts.
boxes or play drafts or whatever. I wasn't a fan of opening boosters, so I actually don't remember.
Mhm.
But I think I first tried to open packs in Onslaught because of the fetch lands,
Mhm.
which I didn't get.
Understandable.
But before that, no. But the one I really remember it's actually Pokemon. Are you familiar with a shining Pokemon?
Yeah.
It's just really rare. I think one in every 6
I wouldn't
boxes It's like a super rare card. And the funny thing is, the reason I remember this is I went to Phil Bars, bought one pack, got a Shining Gyarados, thought that was cool, bought another pack, got another Shining Gyarados.
Yeah, that's
And I was like,
crazy.
what? They were cleared from different boxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the Shining is one in every how many boxes. And there are like 6 of them. So just the odds of pulling 2 of
Yeah.
the same was just stupid. I still have both of them. They were
Oh, that's what those are.
yeah. There's worth anywhere between $1,000 to $10,000 each now, depending on condition.
Wow. Oh yeah, because
They're-
conditions.
Because in Pokemon, they're super.
It's all about conditions.
Magic. We don't. As long as you can play with them,
Yeah.
we
The
don't.
Japanese are the ones that are super.
For play, you don't really care, but for the guys who are like into investing and stuff,
Yeah.
the grading for Magic is actually very important as well.
But,
Like there's a big difference between
an
a 10, a 9.5,
Yeah.
a 9, an 8.5. The difference, the
Is-
jump, the jump in
But
values.
the thing with Magic is the price that we see online
Mhm.
is the I don't care about condition price.
Yep.
So it's always whatever price you see there, you can get that money for the card.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Pokemon, it's always this is the 10.
Pokemon is like a big range, and you
Yeah.
don't know what to sell the card for.
I
But
think
they
that's the
advertise
reason for that is even now, Pokemon is mainly a collector's market.
Yeah.
You really barely see kids actually playing the cards
Mm.
properly. They will play it
Properly.
in some weird way, but
Yeah.
not as per the rules.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to a Pokemon tournament, you'd probably see adults playing there.
Mm. But
As
the primary market, I think it's still kids, right?
it's still kids,
Well,
and
kids' parents.
but you know, recently it's been the collector market that's
Yeah.
been driving the prices up, and the collector market are not kids.
yeah, definitely.
There used to be kids.
And it's kind of like what you'd expect people that would get packs. Because I remember these people buy these nowadays because they didn't have that when they were kids, right?
Mhm.
Or something that really like. I remember this old game that it's dead now, but I really loved called Anime Hem. If you remember,
Yeah, I
that.
remember
I
that.
remember that.
Yeah,
Never played it, but
I walked to Vera Mall from my
Was this
school.
the same time as Rodil or no earlier?
After it
Yeah.
came
After?
before. Rodil came after.
Okay.
Rodil came after.
yeah, Rodil is definitely after.
Oh, you love Rodil. Now Freddie's here. We can have that discussion in the future episodes, guys. So watch out for that future episode. But I remember walking in the rain to get a starter deck of Anime Hem. There's only one anime that I liked from the first because it was like 4 animes, and generally they're like one famous anime, then 3 that you don't really know. So it was Tenchi Muyo, Ranma 1/2, Vision of Escaflowne, Bubblegum Crisis. And
But
I
that's
know Ranma.
confusing because I know all of them except for Bubblegum.
So they're girls that are in rock band that, well, not all of them rock band. Only one of them is in rock band, but the rest are like girls and they wear like these
Yeah.
armored
Mecha armor.
mecha armor.
It's familiar to me, but the only one I didn't watch there was Tenchimuyo.
Tenchimuyo is great
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't watch of the 4 titles that you
I didn't
mentioned.
watch any of them, but they were all familiar to me. But I know they all existed.
And then Tenchimuyo is
Were these in English?
English, yes.
Hmm.
It was made by, what's the dead company that made VCDs before?
Huh?
Pioneer.
The cards?
Yes. Were made by Pioneer. Pioneer created that game. That's why
First
it's
of all,
very
that's
bad.
not a dead company.
Oh, sorry. No, the anime portion of Pioneer. I guess that division.
They still make car radios, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's
car radios are
But is that the same company?
I
The
believe
the
so.
one that
It's
manufactures the
Pioneer.
electronics?
It could be that they just have the same name, but
Mhm.
it's an American company called Pioneer. So, and the thing
It's
with
it is a common name.
The game wasn't really good, but you could play it solo, and it's like one of the few games at the beginning, card games that you could play
I
essentially
don't know
solo.
why the name is familiar. Like Animehem sounds familiar to me,
It
but
had
I never.
purple, black,
but I don't
back
know
cards.
about these cards. So I think maybe there's somewhere else that uses this term Animehem. Like Animax has a Animehem Saturday, and that's what I remember. I don't know
Maybe.
something.
I
Like
don't remember that in Animax though.
Mhm.
But Animehem had that, and then the big thing, its last big expansion. There was a second expansion with even worse anime. It had like Dominion Tank Police.
So this is just Vice Swartz before.
It's White Swords before White Swords, but it was made by Americans,
Mhm.
so it wasn't really that good.
It was the company that dubbed the
Yeah,
anime.
it was the company that dubbed
So
it.
they also owned the rights.
They
for
own the rights
the-
to images, and so
Yeah.
they figured make a card game. Oh, that makes not. I mean,
No art assets at all.
Yep.
They were just
The screen grabs.
Amazing.
Yep.
I mean, Lord of the Rings did that.
Oh yeah, I remember Lord of the Rings.
Initial D also did that.
Oh, that's also another interesting game.
Mhm.
Uh,
Initial D was good.
But they didn't have players.
It had some players, but I really liked it. Lord of the Rings had a lot of players when it was strong, but personally, I didn't like the gameplay.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
I hated it after Two Towers is the problem.
The reason why I didn't like it particularly was because I felt that almost everyone played the same thing.
Oh, I liked it because I played the rogue deck.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
a
you're winning.
super rogue deck that wasn't even from the internet. I played a 100 card deck, which was Moria and Dwarves. And the whole thing was like, there was a card that made you resurrect card for Moria. If you remember
Mhm.
that.
Did you
you
play
throw
the
away-
original one? The other?
The one
No, this
made
is
by
the-
Decipher.
This is the new one.
Yeah, that's
no,
the
no.
Decipher
There's
one.
the Middle
first
Earth.
Middle Earth, the Wizards.
Yeah, that was the first TCG
Mm.
for Lord
For
of the Rings.
That was great. Gameplay wise, it's kind of boring. But
That's a problem, right?
yeah, it's kind of boring because you go through all of these steps. But if you're like if you love Lord of the Rings, you do you can actually do the entire story because there's traveling. There's
No, the new
locations.
one is, and I think the deck you're saying is the Hobbits and
Is it more
No,
combative?
no, no.
right?
I was
Aragorn.
the Decipher. Yeah, because everybody was playing Fellowship. Everybody had Aragorn. Basically, all the
Aragorn,
characters from the
Aragorn.
Fellowship.
yeah,
That's basically everyone's deck, and that was the dominant strategy. So it
the
became
Hobbit
boring.
deck was also good. The stealth Hobbits. What they did was like run and then stealth, and it just had Frodo. I think that was the guy who was winning. I forgot his name,
Yeah,
but yeah, I was also I was number 6 ranked
Mhm.
because of that stupid deck.
I kind of remember another card game that was before that, which was the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones
Agot.
before Agot. Yes, a
Yeah,
Game of Thrones
the
card
original.
But the art of that
It
was,
was
game. No,
it
it's not.
was done by Fantasy Flight Games, and
It's
it was a TCG.
It was a TCG
Yeah,
before
but
it
the
became
art-
a
like,
LCG.
you like the art?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's not groundbreaking, but for its time,
I guess.
let's be honest.
Oh well, yeah.
Like
if you compare it to,
even original Magic, the first batch of Magic the Gathering cards.
90s fantasy art.
yeah.
There was
I
like
guess.
some, if you look at them now, there would be some art that like, this made the cut.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just didn't like. I particularly didn't like the Agot art. Like even compared to L5, Magic, and everything. Just something. There was just something about,
It
or
was
maybe not the art. Maybe that
the layout is very
of the
busy.
card.
The
Yeah,
layout
yeah.
of the cards is so busy. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember, I
yeah,
just
the
remember
cards
not
are
liking
busy.
it visually.
Well, that's like one of my favorite pools that made me make a deck.
Yeah.
Was this card called Valar Morghulis? Because they had plot decks, and one of this is Valar Morghulis, even before the Game of Thrones shows. And it's kind of like that, along with a couple of other games. What's that game with the superheroes? VS.
Mhm.
All of those
Versus
games
for
that
all of you Americans.
versus.
They actually, because I remember this story because a friend of mine asked like his sister or someone from the States
Mhm.
to buy him VS cards.
Yeah.
And the store didn't know what they were talking about,
So
like the hobby
Versus.
shop, until, versus.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then in all of these games, like the Game of Thrones ones, Lord of the Rings, no. Lord of the Rings struck when the iron was hot. So that they made,
Yeah.
but not the Middle Earth, the wizards wasn't able to reach.
So that was the thing
Yeah.
with Lord of the Rings, because
What-
like, there was a mechanic there where you went to sites.
Mhm.
So like when it was just Fellowship, it was like some sites, the Balrog,
Mhm.
and then blah 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 until the Lurtz battle.
Mhm.
It was just site 9, and then you're done. And then for
Yeah.
and then for when Two Towers came out, it was like a totally different set of sites, which like it's like, I spent so much time figuring out the whole
Map and then
first 9 sites, and then this change, and then also no more Balrog at site 6,
yeah.
which was a fun thing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, they did strike while the iron was hot because they came out when the movies came out.
Yeah. Well, it came out because of the movies, right?
Mhm.
The Decipher version.
I
Yeah.
think it was 3 expansions per
Movie.
movie.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Lord of the Rings The Wizards, which is I feel is a superior game to that, was on its decline when the movies were starting to come out. So just
I think it was already discontinued by then.
It's a sad thing. But that's actually our show. Thanks for listening to the Random Pinoy Geek Podcast. This has been Elvin with Freddie and JR. And remember, it's okay to geek out as long as you know when to stop.